Hello, my name is Fenna. Welcome to Following Fenna. I am a certified coach and counselor, and I work with people in a limerent episode and also with their partners. Now, I get a bit annoyed by posts and videos well-meaning that you should have self-esteem and then you will not be limerent anymore. That you need self-esteem to set your boundaries, and only people with low self-esteem are vulnerable for limerence. Is that true? Is limerence a result of having low self-esteem? In this video, we're going to have a look at that. Limerence does not necessarily only happen to people with low self-esteem. It's kind of the other way around. Limerence is about circumstances and the wrong ingredients all coming together. It's about slowly training your brain into addiction. And yes, some of us do have self-esteem, and it adds to the ingredients and our vulnerability for limerence. But a lot of non-limerents also deal with low self-esteem. Hear me out. Being in limerence creates low self-esteem. When you are in limerence, and I'm not talking about the early days, the first few weeks or months, because then it feels really amazing due to the flooding of dopamine. I'm talking about when you are a few months in and the addiction is really kicking in and we feel not good enough for the other person. Even though their behavior stems more from their attachment issues, probably it has little to do with us, we still think that it's personal. Limerence makes us believe we are not good enough. We feel not good enough. We think we're not good enough. Why else are we not chosen by a low, meaning the limerent object, meaning the other person? It's not true. It's the limerence whispering its nasty little lies. And it's too simple and even a little bit hurtful to say, okay, you need to fix your self-esteem and become super confident and be the best version of yourself, as if this version is not good enough. And all that stuff, because then you will be protected from limerence. In other words, it's kind of your fault. And I see clients buying books on how to become more confident and the 8 pillars of self-esteem and how to love yourself. And of course, it will not do harm, and maybe you need to build up your confidence in any case. But limerence is about addiction. And you can have all the confidence in the world, but if your brain/hormones are addicted, it will not help you that much. You need to go through the withdrawal, endure the pain, and detach. I gotta go through the grief cycle in order to get out of a limerent episode. You can't self-esteem your way out of it. And yes, limerence is fertile soil, so you can have a look on what you want to work on, and maybe that is self-esteem or setting more clear boundaries. But if you were a pretty confident person before the limerence started, you will be a pretty confident person after. Once the limerent fog is gone, you will return to how you were. And I say this before you talk yourself into thinking that you have a self-esteem problem and that's what you should work on, because otherwise you'll not get out of limerence. That's simply not true. And yes, you can set boundaries and also ask for clarity without being the most confident person in the world. If we all had to wait to become super confident before we can ask clarity, we'll all wait forever, because being somewhat insecure is also a common humanity. But the limerence will make you more insecure. It's what limerence does. What does help people dealing with limerence? It's practicing self-compassion. Self-compassion. Acknowledge that this sucks and it hurts and you really don't want this, but here we are. Acknowledging the common humanity. There is nothing wrong with you for wanting to love and wanting to be loved. That's pretty normal, actually. That's normal human behavior. That's a human need. You just kind of wanted this coming from the wrong person in the wrong circumstances. And you can practice self-compassion rather easily and very practical. You just state what you feel, nothing more, nothing less. Just state what you feel. I feel sad, I feel angry, I feel silly, I feel longing, I feel bad today. And then you search for the common humanity. Would other people in this situation feel bad? Yeah, they probably would. You're not weird for feeling this. And the last step is to make a friendly sentence. What would you say to a friend or a child? You probably would not say, oh, it's your own fault because you have low self-esteem. No, you would say, that's really bad. I'm sorry you're hurting. I'm sorry you feel that way. Long story short, before I get into the letters. Yes, some of us do have low self-esteem and that's something that we might work on. But don't think that being limerent is your fault because you have low self-esteem, because limerence creates low self-esteem. We feel not good enough and our mind tells us we're not good enough and we have all these little tricks and biases and manipulation and lies going on in our head that we should adjust ourselves more to allow. So poor boundaries is also a symptom of limerence. Now, I have 2 letters for you today. I have a limerent letter here. And if you want to share your story, please do. Even if you don't have specific questions and you just want to share your story, it is very appreciated. And of course, it will be anonymous. And I have a letter here from somebody who's also stating what limerence did to their self-esteem at one point. Dear Fenna, I met my LO when I was still married. I was out of integrity, as you always say, and guess I was looking for some void to be filled. Yes, when we're out of integrity, we make ourselves really vulnerable for limerence. When I met LO, it was love at first sight, or trauma attraction, as I later renamed it. Yeah. We were both so happy and they gave me so much attention. I felt young and beautiful and alive and desired. The fact that they lived in Spain and I lived in ... made it at that moment even more exciting. LO was a lot younger than me and I did not think in the beginning that I would get that attached. Little did I know. Yes, we slowly train our brain into addiction. After being intimate with LO, I noticed that I got more anxious and more focused on whether they called me or not. In the beginning, I tried to reassure myself, but they really did pull away at one moment and I was left stunned. After they promised me the world, after talking about a life together, after they told me that they never felt this before, they pulled away. They blamed it on the pandemic, but in hindsight, I can see that they were avoidant attached. Yeah. People with a more avoidant attachment style in this phase in their life tend to go from a 0 to 100 and then they pull away as a coping mechanism. His pulling away made my limerence worse. Yeah. That's when you get the intermittent reward and then you really feel the addiction after a certain period of time. Whatever I tried to calm down and have fun, I was not. I thought I could not live without them. I was losing my life. I was questioning myself all the time. I didn't find myself beautiful anymore. What was I doing wrong? I was always crying, feeling so low, except when there was a notification on my phone that there was a message, which was more rare and rare. Oh yeah. Social media plays with our reward system like nothing else. If we have an hello and we hear the ping or a notification or whatever sound it is, it immediately creates this this dopamine shot, and it really plays with our hormones, and we get dysregulated. I neglected my friends, my kids, my hobbies. I only lived for their attention, and I hated myself for it. I felt imprisoned, and I tried everything to control the situation. I tried therapy. My therapist diagnosed me with borderline personality disorder, mostly based on my mood swings, but I highly doubt if I have that. People, if you didn't have the symptoms before the limerence started, you will not have them after. Limerence gives us all these symptoms, but these are temporary. And I'm not saying that, no limerence ever had borderline personality disorder. But based on the symptoms during the limerence episode, you should have a look at if you have had the symptoms before the limerence started. It's very important. I tried the tarot cards, oh Lord, the law of attraction, and I watched endless videos on how to deal with an avoidant and give them enough space and make myself completely invisible and suppressing my needs. Oh, I know there are so many videos out there how to deal or even how to win an avoidant, how to get an avoidant, as if they're things. And people dealing with somebody with a more avoidant attachment style massively creates low self-esteem. That's the whole dynamic. So I would suggest you, people who are watching all these videos, put all this energy in spending time with somebody with a more secure attachment style. But okay. I went through a divorce at that time. Little did LO care, and I was in a living hell. Oh. After a huge blow up with LO, I decided to go no contact, and the withdrawal was very painful. Yet it was the best decision I ever made. It took me a long time to go through the grief, but thanks to you, Fenna, I kind of did know what to expect. People, life after limerence is really great. It is so worth to go through the withdrawal and cut the ties with your LO. Thank you, Fenna. I have my life back. Oh. You see what limerence does? You see that when LO starts to pull away, we think it's us and that we're not good enough. In the beginning, limerence feels so great, and I hear all my clients state I felt beautiful. After LO pulls away, no one feels beautiful anymore. They're looking in the mirror like, what's wrong with me? You didn't change. Your hormones changed. The dynamic changed. I have another letter. Also showing you how limerence works badly on our self-esteem. Dear Fenna, I am so grateful for your channel. My limerence started when I thought I had a special bond with my teacher from university. He would give me a lot of attention, and he even flirted with me. I was so convinced that this was a special bond and that we would be together after I graduated. I felt great in this period, and I was looking forward to see him every day, and I did my best to be noticed. We even shared phone numbers, and we started texting little heart emojicons and little kiss emojicons. At one point I disclosed, and even though I saw him smirking, he was obviously very charmed. He told me that he could not date students, yet he continued to flirt with me. This is a classic case of what I was saying before. When people start to mix their roles, we get very vulnerable for limerence. I adapted more and more to him. What music would he like? How can I be more like him? What is his preference? I completely lost my personality. Yes, that is what limerence does. We lose ourselves. We lose our boundaries. We adapt too much. After I graduated, nothing. He happily continued his life as I picked up the pieces, thinking, how could I have been so stupid? You're not stupid. Wanting to love and be loved is a normal human need. You don't need to apologize for wanting to love. It's when people come out of their file and they start creating confusion because they mix up different roles, is when we get vulnerable for limerence. I am doing better now, but I never want to experience this again. Hopefully you will not. I hope that in this video I showed you that limerence does create low self-esteem. It doesn't mean that you have low self-esteem issues. If you did before the limerence started, you will have them after. But don't think that this is your fault because you have low self-esteem. This is an addiction and this is about circumstances. If you have anything to say about this channel or this video, please leave a comment. And for now, I want to thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.